Good afternoon once again. We'll go ahead with the last session. So moving ahead with the session, we have with us Mr. Piyush, Assistant Professor of Vishwavidyalaya Engineering College, Ambikapur, who will talk about AICTE quality initiatives and new education policy infused by them. So, sir, it's over to you.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, sir. You are audible.
Okay. My screen is visible, ma'am? Hello.
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay. So I know this teachers training program is regarding research methodology, but as per AICTE guidelines, each training program has one session on national education policy. So for this, I am here to present a lecture on National Education Policy 2020. So before coming to the basic part of National Education Policy 2020, just to set up that where we belong to. We are not doing very special. We are not doing very special. We are just recovering our roots. If we talk about our culture, ancient India, we were the first one to have multidisciplinary teaching and research universities. These universities are Nalanda, Takshashila, Vikramasila, Vallabhi. These were the multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary institutes which were that time very much available in the world. We have the great scholars. Right now, NEP is talking about multidisciplinary, cross-disciplinary, flexible curriculum design. So we already have this in our culture. Then we had an education system with the great scholar. You think of any field, medical science, surgery, even plastic surgery, navigation, mathematics, astronomy, we all know. So all these great scholars such as Chanakya, Susrut, Aryabhat, Bhaskaracharya. But because of British Raj, Mughal Raj, the entire Indian education system was totally collapsed because of their motives. They did not want that our rich culture of education system should go in such a beautiful way. And that is why our education system is totally crashed. So native capabilities and skills of Indian minds were crashed because of their professional interest. After independence, several changes were brought in the Indian education system. No doubt, during the British Raj also we have Macaulay and so many other education reforms. But they were never up to the level that our coming generation of India should reach up to that effective level. After independence, several changes were brought to bring our education system to up to same level so that some transformation in the entire education system of our country moves in the direction of integrated development. So lots of changes were happened in our education system step by step. Right now, the government is interested not in only in education system, but focus on also to make our students, to make our coming generation competent enough to go to the global scenario. Today, any student from remote area, backward area, we can say tribal area of Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Jharkhand, Bihar, he has the flexibility and chances to move on any university in USA. After independence, there are several evolutions of education policy. Here it is listed here. The first national policy on education came in 1968. Kothari Commission has been set up in 1966. Objective was the Kothari Commission was to modernize the India and take the national unity and literacy. Three-language formula has been created at that time. Anyone go for Hindi, English, and one regional language. We know South Indian people were they were very, anti-Hindi kind of thing. It was really a tough job to script three-language formula in South part. They were having their own regional language. If you say the concept of Kendriya Vidyalaya, because the people working in Chennai and suddenly they got transfer, government job to come to Raipur, Kanpur, Lucknow, some North Indian cities, right? Then how to deal with such things? The commission finally emphasized the literacy and provide adult education because the people, those who were like education, like having age and could not get a proper preliminary education, how to teach them and how to make them understandable. They can learn counting, write letters, and understand commands. So adult education is one objective of that time. The second national policy came into existence in 1986. It was implemented in the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. Now, after 34 years, the third national education policy, which was implemented in the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji. National Education Policy 20. This policy has been formulated after a very detailed consultative process, unprecedented in depth and scale. Consultation involved over 2 lakh suggestions from 2.5 lakh Gram Panchayat, 6,600 blocks, 677 districts. The MHRD has initiated a collaborative, inclusive, and highly participatory consultation process from January 15 to May 16. In May 16, Committee for Evolution of the National Education Policy under the chairmanship of late Sri T.S.R. Subramanian, former Cabinet Secretary, submitted its report. Based on this, the ministry prepared some inputs for the draft National Education Policy 2016. The draft of National Education Policy 2019 was uploaded on MHRD's website and at my Government Innovate portal, eliciting views, suggestions, comments of stakeholders, including public. This National Education Policy was constituted under the chairmanship of eminent scientist Padma Vibhushan Dr. K. Kasturi Rangan, which submitted the draft National Education Policy to the Honorable MHRD Ministry on 31st May 2019. This is the committee members of the National Education Policy 2020. Chairman K. Kasturi Rangan ji, he is an Indian space scientist. He is a recipient of the 3 major civilian awards, the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan, and Padma Vibhushan. And the other 8 members are Dr. Vasudha Kamat, Vice Chancellor of SNDO University, Mumbai, Dr. Manjul Bhargava, Professor of Mathematics in Princeton University, USA, Dr. Ram Shankar Kuril, Vice Chancellor of Baba Saheb Ambedkar University of Social Science, Mau, Professor T.V. Kattimani, Vice Chancellor of Tribal University, Amarkantha, Sri Krishna Mohan Tripathi, Chairman of Uttar Pradesh High School and Intermediate Examination Board, Dr. Mazhar Asif, Professor of Persian at Guwahati University, Dr. M.K. Sridhar, Member, Central Advisory Board of Education, also former member, Secretary of Karnataka Innovation Council and Karnataka Knowledge Commission, and Sri Rajendra Pratap Gupta, Officer on Special Duty for National Education Policy, Department of Higher Education, MHRD, Government of India. What is the vision of National Education Policy 2020? When we are saying education system, the only thing which comes in our mind is the syllabus, the curriculum, what content we are going to teach, which stream. But this education policy vision is broadened by thinking about the education system, which not only provides the high quality education, but also give impotence to instilling the human and ethical values. We are looking towards the students, child who has commitment, who look forward to the global building and reflect the global citizen. So, this education system looks forward to the development of well-rounded and creative individuals. Intellectual curiosity should be there, but a strong ethical compass is the key line of this education policy. This national education policy has divided into 4 parts. First is school education, second, higher education, third, other key aspect of this education policy, and the last one is implementation. Make it happen. In this first point, ensure universal access at all levels of schooling from pre-primary to grade 12. National Education Policy 2020 aims to achieve 100% gross enrollment ratio in school education by 2030. The initiatives that will be undertaken for this include provision of effective and sufficient infrastructures, alternatives and innovation education centers to ensure that children who are dropping out of school are brought back into mainstream education, universal participation in school by carefully tracking students as well as their learning levels. The second point is early childhood care and education. The foundation of learning is over 85 is on research, over 85% of a child's cumulative brain development occurs prior to the age of 6, indicating the critical importance of appropriate care and stimulation of the brain in a child's early year for healthy brain development and growth. It is therefore of the utmost importance that every child has access to quality early childhood care and education. Presently, quality ECC, that is early child care and education, is not available to most young children, particularly children for economically disadvantaged families. Universal provisioning of quality early childhood development, care and education must be thus be achieved by 2030 to ensure that all children entering grade 1 are school ready. The early childhood care and education ideally consists of flexible, multi-level, play-based, activity-based, Discovery based learning about, for example, alphabetical language, number, counting, colors, indoor and outdoor play, puzzles and logical thinking, painting, craft, drama, music, a lot of things are there. It also includes a focus on developing social capabilities, sensitivity, good behavior, ethics, personal and public cleanliness, teamwork, cooperation. To prepare an initial cadre of high quality ECE teachers, current Anganwadi workers, teachers will be trained through a systematic effort and as per the curricular framework developed by NCERT. Those Anganwadi worker or teacher with qualification of 10 plus 2 and above shall be given a 6-month certificate program, and those with lower education qualification shall be given a 1-year diploma program. Foundation literacy and numeracy, that is the ability to read, write, and perform basic operations with numbers, is a necessary foundation and a prerequisite for all future school and lifelong learning. Teacher vacancies will be filled as soon as possible in a time-bound manner, especially in disadvantaged areas and areas with large pupil-to-teacher ratio, high rate of illiteracy, with special attention given to employing local teachers and female teachers. At least one teacher per class per grade and a pupil-teacher ratio of under 30:1 will be ensured at the level of each school. For SEDG area, that is socially economically disadvantaged group, will aim the pupil teacher ratio of under 25:1. Teacher will be trained, encouraged and supported with continuous professional development for the purpose to impart foundation literacy and numeracy to students who have fallen behind. Curtailing dropout rates and ensuring universal access to education to all levels. This is one of the primary goals of this schooling system. Must be ensured that children are enrolled in and attending school. Through initiatives such as Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan and Right to Education Act, India has made remarkable strides in recent years in attaining near universal enrollment in elementary education. But however, the data for later grades indicates some serious issues in retaining children in the schooling system. The gross enrollment ratio for grade 6 to 8 was 90.7, while for grade 9 to 10 and 11 to 12, it was dropped to 79.3% for 9 to 10 grades and 51.3% to 11 to 12%. So there is a decrease in gross enrollment ratio from 90.7 for the class 6 to 8 to 51.3 for class 11 to 12. This indicating that a significant proportion of enrolled students begin to drop out after grade 5 and especially after grade 8. 8 per UNESCO Institute of Statistics, an estimated 6.2 crore children of school age were out of school in 2013. So, it must be a top priority of the country to bring these children back into the educational fold as early as possible and to prevent further students from dropping out, with a goal to achieve 100% gross enrollment ratio in preschool through secondary school by 2035. The another is curriculum and pedagogy in schools. Learning should be holistic, integrated, inclusive, enjoyable, and engaging. restructuring school curriculum and pedagogy in a new style. This national education policy replaced 10 plus 2 system with 5 plus 3 plus 3, 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 system. With emphasis on early childhood care and education, the 10 plus 2 structure replaced by 5 plus 3 plus 3 plus 4 curricular structure corresponding to age 3 to 8. 3 to 8 is foundation stage, then 8 to 11 preparatory stage, 11 to 14 middle stage, and 14 to 18 is the secondary stage. This will bring the uncovered age of 3 to 6 years under school curriculum, which has been recognized globally as the crucial stage for development of mental faculties of a child. The new system will have 12 years of schooling with 3 years of Anganwadi or preschooling. Foundation stage, in this stage, 3 years of Anganwadi or preschool plus 2 years in primary school, that is in class 1 and 2, both together covering age 3 to 8. That is preparatory stage, classes 3 to 5, covering the age of 8 to 11, middle stage, classes 6 to 8, covering the age of 11 to 14, and the secondary stage, that is classes 9 to 12, in two phases, 9 and 10 in the first and 11 and 12 in the second, covering the age 14 to 18. In the middle stage, we'll see the introduction of subject teachers for learning, discussion of the more abstract concept in each subject that student will be ready for at this stage. Across the sciences, mathematics, arts, social science, and humanities. The high school stage will comprise of 4 years of multidisciplinary study, building on the subject-oriented pedagogical and curricular style of the middle stage, but with greater depth, greater critical thinking, greater attention to life aspiration, and greater flexibility and student choice. The next is holistic development of a learner. This national education policy curriculum will aim for holistic development of the learner, equipping them with the key 21st century skills, reduction in curricular concept to enhance essential learning and critical thinking, and greater focus on experimental learning. Students will have increased flexibility and choice of subjects so that they choose their own path according to their talent and interest. There will be no rigid bound separation between art and science, between curricular and extracurricular activities, between vocational and academic stream. The multilingual and the power of the language. It is well understood that young children learn and grasp the new concept more quickly in their home language or mother language. Wherever possible, the medium of the instruction until at least grade 5, but preferably till grade 8 and beyond will be the home language, local language. Therefore, the local language shall continue to be taught as a language wherever possible. There should be no constraint on the student that the curriculum content are available only in English. We are coming up the designing the content in the local language. I don't know how many of you are know about the government has already started this program, and they have been asking about the teachers, those who are very comfortable in Hindi, local language. For this reason, where we are belonging, they can come forward and convert all these technical subjects and course content books into the Hindi language, so that none of the students who may be coming from a rural area, who may be coming from an area where English is not such a comfortable language, he should be constrained because he is unable to understand. So there should be facility of any type of language the student can understand, so that his growth or his chances of moving up are not restricted just because of the one of the language which he was not able to understand. Vocational education. By 2025, at least 50% of learners through the school and higher education system shall have exposure to vocational education. Beginning with vocational exposure at early age in middle and secondary school, quality vocational education will be integrated smoothly into higher education. Vocational education will be integrated in the educational offering of all secondary school in a phased manner over the next decade. वन मोर थिंग, आप सब जानते ही होंगे कि अब हमारा जो MHRD मिनिस्ट्री था, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट, इज नाउ इन द न्यू नेम, दैट इज मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन। MHRD को नया नाम अब मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एजुकेशन हो गया है। Now this equitable and inclusive education, this is one key aspect of this national education policy. In this, we must focus on the socially economically disadvantaged group, and these SADGs can be broadly categorized based on gender identities, particularly female and transgender individuals. Socio-culture identities, that is based on caste, scheduled tribe, OBC and minorities. Geographical identities, either students from rural areas, villages, small towns, aspirational districts. Disabilities including learning abilities also. Socio-economic condition, migrant communities, children in vulnerable situation, orphans, victim of trafficking. So in this way, these SADG groups are categorized. Now there is a new assessment reforms. The existing system of entrance examination shall be reformed to eliminate the need of undertaking coaching for cracking the examinations. To reverse this harmful effect of the current assessment system, board exam will encourage holistic development. A student will be able to choose many of the subjects in which they take board exam, depending on their individualized interest. Board exam will also be made easier in the sense that they will test preliminary core capabilities rather than month of coaching and memorization. रट्टा मारने की जरूरत नहीं रहेगी. Any student who has been regularly attending and making a basic effort in a school class will be able to pass and corresponding subject board exam without much additional effect. To further eliminate the high stakes aspect of board exam, all students will be allowed to take board exam on up to 2 occasions during any given school year. One main examination and one for improvement. This is all about school education. Next, what is the changes? What is the reforms in higher education? Increase gross enrollment ratio in higher education to reach at least 50% by 2035. As we see that in the school education, the gross enrollment ratio is dropped to 51.3% from 90%. And in case of higher education, it will drop to 26.8%. This is the data we obtained in 2018. The aim will be increasing this gross enrollment ratio in higher education, including vocational education, from 26.3 2018 to 50% by 2035. While a number of institutions may be developed to attain these goals, a large part of capacity creation will happen by consolidating, expanding, and improving existing HEIs, that is, higher education institutes. The main thrust of this policy in higher education is to end of fragmentation of higher education by transforming higher education institutions into large multidisciplinary universities and HEI clusters, each of which will aim to have 3,000 or more students. Towards a more holistic education, institutional restructuring and consolidation. India has a long tradition of holistic and multidisciplinary learning in the liberal art from universities such as Takshashila and Nalanda to the extensive literature of India combining subjects across field. एक हमारे समय में बोला कि जो व्यक्ति 64 कलाओं में निपुण है वही सर्वज्ञानी है, सर्व संपन्न है. These 64 arts were included subjects such as singing and painting, but also more scientific fields such as chemistry, mathematics, more vocational fields such as carpentry, cloth making, more professional fields such as medicine and engineering. The undergraduate degree will be, here we can see that the undergraduate degree will be either of 3 or 4-year duration with multiple exit option within this period with appropriate certification. This is the concept of multiple entry and exit system. Right now, our education system is like a tube. A student enters in the tube, gets all whatever available, and comes out with a certificate, degree, or diploma whatsoever. But national education policy provides, instead of this hollow tube, this is like a flute. You have a number of chances for multiple getting out from the system and re-entering. Make your education system full of music, that is, full of interest. In this system, students, after completing 1 year in a 3-year degree courses, can go out. If he has some other preferences, just go for that, complete it, then come back and continue your study with previous credits. This will happening in the case of, suppose, if there is a family whose economical condition is not well, the student is not able to continue their studies. Okay, that's no problem. You go for, do job for 2 years, come back and then complete your degree. For this type of provision is provided in this National Education Policy 2020. For this, the Academic Bank of Credit, a digital storage of credit, has a system, has been framed, and the policy has already been formulated that how, when the student is moving from one stream to another, then how his credit has been shared. In a 4-year degree courses, if students completed his first year, he received a certificate. If he has completed 2 years, he get a diploma. If he has completed 3 years, a bachelor degree certificate he received. And for a 4 years program, he received bachelor degree with research. In this policy, National Education Policy, MPhil courses are to be discontinued. This ABC objectives, what is this ABC objective? let's a little bit talk about ABC, because this is more important. As I was saying that the students have the flexibility of tailoring their degree. So best combination they can choose, best combination of the subject, best combination of the college, best combination of the contents. They have that flexibility, and also to choose the pace of their study. We know that some of the students are sharp, they have their knowledge, their thinking capacity, they are more intelligent, as some of the students are slow learner. They may be intelligent, but their learning pace is slow. We try to teach that student to teach to a level with a pace or speed depending upon the slow learner. If any student in a smart learner, you cannot restrict him to choose six subjects or these many credits, say 25 credits in a semester. So he can learn more subjects if he wants. So a student can specialize themselves, can choose the type of college, can choose the type of content, can choose at which speed he want to learn. And for maintaining these, the ABC policy has been formulated. Every college, every HEIs, which we call, they will keep a track of every student registered with them, and every student will have the academic bank of credit. So there will be opening, there will be closure, there will be validation of the credits, and then not only opening and closure is okay, that is obvious, but there will be accumulation, transfer, and redemption. So if you see these words, so redemption is students is going for multiple entry and exit, he is coming back, he is joined, so there is redeeming his previous accumulated credit. So after first year, when he is going, he has say 20 credits. After 2 years, he is coming back. He transfer his accumulated credit and redeem them and start going for second year. Then there is a for multiple entry. I am studied at CSVTU. I have taken one course from IIT Kanpur. I am getting transfer those credit and giving it to CSVTU. I am not interested to coming class at 10 a.m. The same MOOC course is online available, and I have the flexibility and I get time at 10 o'clock in the night. I attend that MOOC courses and I take my those credit and get them transferred to CSV2. So all this will be done through this ABC. This COVID taught us this online teaching so well. It's not mandatory student has to come from 9 to 5 in the college. He can have hybrid mode of learning. Some of the classes he can attend, practical parts he can do. If he is not liking the teacher's style of teaching, forget it. I take it from NPTEL. If the college do not have good infrastructure, do not have good lab facilities, then you have the virtual labs. A student can sit there in his room and with his own system he can have access to best lab facility available at any IIT or NITs. All this credit transfer accumulation and keeping the track will be done by that particular HEI where the student will be registered. But yes, there is a limit to the overall credit. That is does not mean the student can go for 20 years and cover his 1 3-year degree course. So valid period has been decided 7 years, and also that the HEIs, higher education institutes, one will the awarding institutes, there is a constraint that the student has to do at least 30 to 50% of credit from the same college. That is not mean that only college is responsible for just maintaining the database of his academics. Again, there is a in this policy, National Research Foundation is there for to encourage the research, financial support for students, especially belonging to SC, ST, OBC, and other socially economically disadvantaged groups. Open and distance learning is there. Motivated, energized, and capable faculties. A 4-year integrated B.Ed offer by such multidisciplinary HEIs will be by 2030. B.Ed will be dual major holistic bachelor degree in education as well as specialized subject. Reimagining vocational education. The other key areas of focus in this national education policy is adult education, promotion of Indian language, technology use and integrations. And the last part is making it happen. Establishing an apex advisory body for Indian education and Indian education service. Financing, implementation. Yes, implementation is more important. This is the timeline for implementation in NEP. This is a timeline which the government has set up. If everything goes well without this pandemic and all, so step by step, these have formulated by which year that what type of changes will be there in the entire education system, because this NEP look forward from KG to PG. So they had to formulate such a drastic changes in designing all the content, all the parameters, starting with KG class till the students complete the higher education. With this, I would like to summarize and conclude my presentation by saying that this NEP has very balanced and inclusive outlook, and it is going to have a surreal effect. And at least the stage has been set and journey has begun. At least the ball has been set for rolling. Thank you. Thank you so much. With this, I concluded.
ये पार्टिसिपेंट अभी कम है क्या? पहले 41 ही है क्या?
Sir, 53 थे. Now they have we have only 40 now.
टोटल कितने रजिस्टर्ड हैं एक्चुअल में?
Sir, 150 approx.
नहीं, जो एक्चुअल पार्टिसिपेटिंग है
70 के आसपास अटेंड कर रहे थे सर.
70 पे आसपास.
70 है ना. और कितने पास हुए? अभी रिजल्ट आ गया क्या उसका?
सर उसमें चल रहा है अभी.
अच्छा,
सेशन वाइज में लगभग 63 के